So something slightly frustrating happened. I recorded another episode of this, another stream, quite a while back now, which would have been video 5 in the series, but this is now going to be video 5 in the series because I forgot. I forgot that I did that, and I never exported it from Twitch, and then Twitch deletes them after a certain amount of time, so it's gone. But I can remember what we did, and of course I committed all the code changes, so I can talk through it anyway. Where are we? None of the things I want. Game of life, that's what I want. So if we look at... oh, hang on. GitHub's changed. This looks different. They've changed things. I don't like it when people change things. I mean, it's great, I'm sure. Loads of improvements, I'm sure, but I hate it when things change. How do I get to stuff now? So code, branch, master, fine. Okay, so this, I think, did this used to be up like here somewhere? This 57 commits thing. Oh, look. So yeah, we can see April, April 13th. Made all of these changes, and you can tell from the reasonably okay commit messages that it was all about tidying the code up. Bit of a refactor. Good. Okay, so we can probably, let's compare. Can I compare with now? We could quickly just see what it is I changed. What will this do? Will this copy that diff, that hash? There we go. That version. Because what we could do is we could go back to the oldest version. Probably this one. And I've just already grabbed the latest copy of the code from GitHub, and I think I could just do a git diff if I spell it correctly anyway. Oh, that's weird. There's a very slight lag in my keyboard input. That's strange. Yeah, so I can just briefly walk through this. It won't take 2 minutes, and it gives a bit of context for some of the things that are going to be a bit different this episode. So, we've increased. Yeah, the window that was appearing with the game was tiny. 500 by 500 was too small, so I've just doubled it every time, and then that stops me from having to drag it bigger every time I compile the code and run the application. Deleted some stuff that we didn't need. Got rid of this lifeform struct that we didn't need. To do is this needed? No, got rid of all of that. We should do something with this in future, but at the moment we're not using it. Let's just get rid of it. Interesting. I removed the sprite sheet handle from the initialization of lifeforms. Possibly because it's unused, or I now don't need it. Okay, I've added a good. This is good. So I've added a constant, at least within this function anyway. The lifeform size is now 150 instead of having 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150. Much better to have it as a variable. Yeah, this line might be superfluous. Indeed, it's gone. What else did we do? Initialize stars. Oh, so I think I broke one of our large. You know what? Let's make this a bit larger. Can you let me? Yeah. Sorry, I realise you're probably all just struggling to read this as much as I can. That's a bit better. Yeah, so I think I split this function into two. Yeah, so instead of, if I scroll up, instead of initialize lifeforms doing a whole bunch of stuff, it now just draws the triangles, or the, well, I say that. I might be talking rubbish. Initializing lifeforms. So, but it still creates the 2D square. Right render, right render. I might be talking rubbish. We'll have a look at the live code in a minute just to double check that. But I was sure I was originally going to split that function, but clearly I didn't. Or I'm currently confused. Anything's possible. So let's skip on a bit. I've added a color. So in this case, that's 0, red, green, and blue with an opacity of 1, which gives you the color black. And I think I did that just to describe what's going on here. Otherwise, with clear, it's not obvious that this is necessarily setting a color. There's just 4 numbers that it's throwing into a function call. So I did that to clear up what this is actually doing. Render flat 3D plugin is used to render meshes. It is, that's true. I think that's just a better description I added. Got rid of some debug, got rid of a to-do. Manual says to add this instead of running world, blah, blah, blah. However, this doesn't seem to work as, yeah, so I think that was just an old comment that had to go. Oh, and that was it. That was all we did. Yeah, got rid of some debug. Apparently that line did nothing. To check that this game's still, I mean, I'm sure I wouldn't have left it in a broken state at the end of the last session. Cargo run. Well, it's definitely a bigger window. That's much better. And let's see what's going on. Yeah, it works. Fine. We have our. We lost them. We have our triangles. So yeah, that's much larger, and it runs. This is the latest version of Rust, by the way. I did a Rust update just before this stream. And switch to nightly. What else? I feel like there's one other thing. Oh yeah, this. Nope, not this. This. So I was really trying to get a different linker working. This LLVM linker, because someone had commented on one of the YouTube videos that compiling was just crazy slow. You know, we shouldn't be waiting so long for a partial compile of the program. And I think I got that working because the compile time now is pretty reasonable at 6 seconds. I don't mind waiting 6 seconds. I think we were into the minutes before, which is just painful. So yeah, I think that was everything. And apparently something's changed in camera movement. Oh no, it hasn't changed. It's just telling me that this is telling me that this is not used, dead code, and this is telling me that it might be too complicated. Very complex type use. Consider factoring parts into type definitions. I would if I, in the moment, knew what that meant, but I don't, so I'm going to leave it because it works. But we've got a warning at some point in a future stream to fix, which brings us on to actually the fact that it's giving us warnings now. So this is compiling nicely inside of the IDE. I can't honestly remember if it was doing that in video 4 or not, but it is now, if it wasn't before. And as I said, the compile times are a bit faster. So that's where we are. And that brings us on to what we need to do next. So there's a couple of different things that we wanted to try, or I wanted to try anyway. One of them was the draw distance is I don't want a cargo run from there. I want a cargo run from here. Oh yeah, that's one of the, that was it. So one of the things I want to fix is the fact that I guess we're calling it a star, that square, disappears so quickly, and then the triangles disappear out of view. Now I haven't even solved this in theory. I asked the Amethyst community, asked their Discord actually. That's starting to make me feel sick. I'm going to stop zooming in and zooming out. I asked the Amethyst Discord what controls that. Because I wondered if it was anything to do with the arena height or the arena width. Which we use. Do we use that? Yeah, so here I thought, hey, if we're creating an arena, oh, that was there, definitely, and we're back. If we're creating a width and a height, that perhaps defines the cutoff distance for how far we're drawing. It's not that, as it turns out. Yes, the amethyst rendy camera perspective. Amethyst rendy perspective. Yeah, that's basically how you spell perspective. There's definitely an O in there. None of those quite look like what I want. Rendy migration guide. Okay. Okay, so this I think is the function that we need. We need this. We need to be able to use this perspective function. These in the amethyst. There we go. Go to the docs. Read the book. No. API reference. Search. Yeah, there we go. Perspective. Amethyst. So I think it's this. I think this is what we want. But then there's also this. Returns a reference to this projection as perspective. As perspective. Create perspective. Create a simple perspective projection transform. Might be simple, but it wasn't simple for me to say. Okay. All right. So let's grab this. So my mouse is playing up now. There's a lag. I wonder if I've got just too much for this computer to handle now. Maybe the mouse software is a real CPU drain. Why am I typing with? I think I'm assuming I'm going to have to do something with the perspective, and I think it's going to be something like that. So where's the camera? Can we minimize stuff? Let's do that. Yeah, great. I want to scroll potentially up and down between the the code that we're bringing into scope. Somewhere here's the camera, right? There it is. So you've got renderer camera. That's amethyst renderer camera, whereas this is amethyst rendy camera. Am I definitely on the latest version? Are we definitely on the latest version of the docs? Yeah, we haven't somewhere else. Right. Is there a chance? Is there a chance that I can just type camera works? Rendy camera perspective. No, it's not happy with that. Unresolved import, amethyst renderer, rendy camera. That's what we want. Amethyst. Oh no, that's not what we want. So rendy is potentially outside renderer. Grab a copy of that. Sorry if I didn't. I can't remember if I explained, but if I didn't explain, this perspective thing I think this will allow us to change the field of view, the depth of view, probably the field of view as well. But it's the depth that I want to change. Ideally, I want to be able to zoom all the way back until that square is a dot. Then it can disappear. So yeah, Rendy camera. So this is going to complain. Unresolved import amethyst Rendy. So this has confused me before. I get very confused by these imports. Amethyst Rendy camera perspective. I don't think I can possibly be getting in both cases. So this is complaining about camera, this is complaining about Rendy. Use amethyst, blah 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 blah. So what if I didn't use amethyst? What if I took this outside entirely of the existing scope and include that? Does that work? Or is that complaining because I've gone too wide with? That needs to be a semicolon actually. I think I need to do this potentially as separate U's. See if this works. Yeah, then it says failed to resolve use of undeclared type of module amethyst Rendy. Because we're not specifically using that in cargo. So if I go to cargo, you know, we're just bringing in amethyst. We're not bringing in amethyst Rendy. Yeah, it's got to be something like this. But I'm just guessing at this point, which is where I get to. Feels like this. There's something intuitive that I am. Or maybe there should be something intuitive that I'm not getting. I need to remember to take these out, but we could, yeah, let's put this in just as a example. Just get this bit right. If we could just get this import right. Okay, so it's not camera. We've established that. Upper and lowercase camera don't work. Rendy straight under amethyst doesn't work. Maybe there's something in the IDE that would tell me how to give me autocomplete on these imports. That would be just wonderful. Use amethyst. Okay, so it knows about that. Interesting. So does this give us something that's even, or is this just pulling stuff out of the current code? This is just pulling stuff out of the current code, isn't it? Because it's not like it's mentioning core or assets. And it is mentioning core. This is just copying what's already up here, isn't it? It's not telling us anything. It's not picking up Rendy. So that symbol, I wonder if that means it's typed manually, whereas maybe this means it's actually do with a mouse over really to explain these. I feel like this would be really helpful if anyone knew what it meant. like the word visibility. So if I do a search for the word visibility, that's assuming I spelled that correctly. I think I did. But that doesn't appear at all in this code. Yeah, that really doesn't appear anywhere in this code. So that's good news. That means the that means this autocomplete's actually quite useful. Just that that is correct, and then perspective. Hang on, no. Was that manually typed perspective? Is that what that symbol means? I think it does. Obstruct perspective. Huh. Okay, what did I do differently? Renderer. We don't go into Rendy, we go into camera. Seemingly lowercase, not uppercase. And then underneath that is perspective. So is that all we needed? Oh no, capital P on the perspective. Is that all we needed? Yes. Okay, right. Well, we figured out how to use autocomplete on imports. That is a huge win. And this Rendy must have gotten, you know, we added. Just going to do a quick git diff, see what's going on in here. Yeah, so we added camera perspective, and then further down we've added a call to camera perspective. Curiously, this is saying I'm not in use, so that suggests our call to it is wrong. Yeah, so that was amethyst rendy, whereas we want amethyst renderer, amethyst renderer, camera perspective. Right, I've just hit the save. Let's see if this compiles. No, still complaining. Camera type with support for perspective and orthographic projections. Expected function tuple struct or tuple variant. Found struct amethyst renderer camera perspective. Okay, so what is that telling us? Probably that I'm not allowed to do this. Click on this one. Then, ooh. Okay, so that's a struct. Right, I've just tried to load up a struct as if it's a function, whereas I need to call new, and then we have this z near z far. Right, I see what's going on. So we probably could get away, well, not get away with, I think the correct way of doing it is probably that. What's the error? Creates a new trait bound amethyst rendy camera perspective amethyst specs component is not satisfied. I feel like having this as a single line is not a good idea. Feels messy. So let's put this into delete perspective. That. Got that wrong. No, it's just the same error. Fine. So the trait amethyst specs component traits amethyst specs component is not implemented for amethyst rendy camera perspective. There's no quick fixes. So this probably suggests I'm using it wrong, and that I can't just chuck it in a with, and that was very silly of me to assume that I could. See how we look now. Okay. So amethyst now has amethyst rendy camera, orthographic, and perspective respectively. These types are mostly feature parity with N algebra, but correct for Vulkan. You can use as matrix to get the inner matrix 4 value. Camera now stores projection, which means it is type safe. The camera stores projection. That might be a clue. Camera struct. Standard 3D. Creates a standard camera for 3D. We'll use a perspective projection with aspect the given dimensions. Okay, can I? See, this looks like it's got near and far on it as well. We'll use a perspective projection with aspect from the given screen dimensions and a field of view of pi3 radians. View transformation will be multiplicative identity. Lost me on the last sentence. Is this hard? Is this saying it's hard coded? Or I can. So standard 3D returns this. Right, hang on. So is this saying, in that actually pretty helpful example, that instead of self, we can do camera. So I think this is what it's saying. Instead of width height, we do arena width, arena height. Probably don't need this line. In fact, then I don't think we need this line. I don't think we need this line. Oh, hang on. Use of undeclared type on module projection. What was there a quick fix? Use of undeclared type module projection. No. Projection perspective. Where do we get one of these from? If I go into camera. Is this included? So projection. Okay, so there's two things this could be. This could be that it's a an import at the top, or it could be that this is declared within the camera. The projection is declared within this camera RS. So the first thing is, we see anything up here about projection. I don't know why I'm reading it manually. That's just silly. That's search. Camera type is okay, fine. Nothing specifically defining projection yet. Aha. Okay, so there's an enum called projection. So I think that means that projection is within camera. No. Contains a projection matrix. Ambiguous associated type. Help use fully qualified syntax. So that might be amethyst friendly camera as trait projection. I think I'm going to specify amethyst renderer camera projection. That line maybe can go as well. I'm going to leave it there for the moment just in case. So do that. This renderer camera. Hang on. Projection perspective. Let's go back here. Projection. That's uppercase. And there's also this. Creates an orthographic projection. Oh, okay. I'm definitely going to learn something here. So that adds functions. Back to this, so we've got projection, perspective, this. Lowercase camera. Ah, that was a lucky guess. So I noticed the file name was a lowercase c on camera. And of course we were trying to grab it from here. So actually this is starting to make a bit more sense. I think we could do this and it'd be fine. Alright, I was wrong. Then of course this probably won't be any good anyway because it doesn't know which projection is being included. So let's just go back to what we were doing, which was that. Great. Perspective. Yeah, we need a semicolon on the end of there. Right, now we get some more useful stuff. So arena width, arena height. That's our near and far. We don't need perspective anymore. I think this can be replaced with camera, which we've just written manually. Cool. We don't need to call in this anymore. Oh, okay. You see if it runs. Oh, that's why my mouse was running slow. I left it running. That was probably just chewing through CPU and graphics and all sorts. This is not an efficient game. Not yet, anyway. Yeah, suddenly my mouse is... Oh, there we go. Look at that. Mouse is much more responsive. Now, this has definitely taken more than 6 seconds to compile. What did that take? 17. Okay. Alright. I can't remember how far away we got before. So that disappears. And I'd say a little less than a quarter of the screen is still yellow. So if we use that as our way of measuring how effective this is, then I could set this to 20,000. Okay, 20,000. Recompile. See if it's quicker than 17 seconds. I don't think it's going to be. I think that's going to take 17 seconds. So we had this in the bottom left. And oh, look at that. Oh, that's fantastic. That is genuinely... How many episodes have we been through? Well, because it'll be the 5th. Number of times I must have said in either on stream or maybe it made it into the video edit that, oh, I wish I could get this to render further. Great. That is a problem solved. So 20,000 is a bit much, maybe. I want to just change the angle slightly so that we can see them side by side. I think that'd be better. Because what I want to do is with this on 20,000, what happens if I change? Ugh, let's not do that. That's a problem for another day. The aspect ratio gets very skew-whiffed. Yeah, because what would be really neat is if this is now far enough away that that square becomes a single dot. Still, oh, there, that was the moment. So it's not quite a dot, and I'm not going to get really close to the screen to figure out how small, how many pixels that is. Again, look at me trying to do stuff manually. Why don't I just use this, like, isn't it called like the snipping tool or something? Yeah. You take this, and I have no idea how this is going to react with also using the screen recorder. It's so small it won't do it. I think that's the problem. Can I do one slightly larger? No? Slightly larger? There we go. Will this now let me zoom? I'd probably have to open it up in Paint. The point is that's pretty tiny. I think that is a huge improvement. And having this on 0.1, actually that's worth checking. How close can we get to this stuff before it disappears? Are we happy with how close? Yeah, I mean, that can't really complain at that, can you? Doesn't feel like anything's being weirdly clipped. What if I so that so quick. I think that's good enough. I think that's good. Ah, right, I'm really pleased with that. That is fantastic. I think this is an excellent time to take a break. So we've spoken through the refactor that would otherwise have been lost to the sands of time because I never uploaded that video to YouTube, and now we've got a projection with some settings that was hidden in the description of the camera function or the standard 3D camera function all along. So look at that. Fantastic.